Greetings, everybody. Well, welcome to day 8 of Young Adult April 2019. So, our look at the Harry Potter book series might have ended yesterday, but now we're going to be looking at the film adaptations. Starting off with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone if you live here in America. So for this, I'll be looking at the plot of the movie, the production, and the finally differences from the book. So, let's get things started. In late 1981, Albus Dumbledore, Minerva McGonagall, and Rubeus Hagrid, professors of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, deliver a recently orphaned infant named Harry Potter to his only remaining relatives, the Dursleys. 10 years later, Harry has been battling a disjointed life with the Dursleys. After inadvertently causing an accident during a family trip to the zoo, Harry begins receiving unsolicited letters by owls. After the Dursleys escape to an island to avoid more letters, Hagrid reappears and informs Harry that he's actually a wizard and has been accepted to Hogwarts against the Dursleys' wishes. After taking Harry to Diagon Alley to buy his supplies for Hogwarts and a pet owl named Hedwig as a birthday present, Hagrid informs him of his past. Harry's parents, James and Lily Potter, met their demise via a killing curse at the hands of the malevolent and all-powerful wizard, Lord Voldemort. Harry, the only survivor in the chaos, thus becomes well known in the wizarding world as the boy who lived. Harry is then taken to King's Cross Station to board a train to Hogwarts, where he meets 3 other students: Ron Weasley, whom he quickly befriends, Hermione Granger, an intelligent witch born to Muggle parents, and Draco Malfoy, a boy from wealthy wizarding family whom he immediately clashes. After arriving at the school, the students assemble in the Great Hall, where all the first years are sorted by the sorting hat between 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Although the sorting hat considers putting Harry in Slytherin with Draco, he's placed into Gryffindor alongside Ron and Hermione. Yay! At Hogwarts, Harry begins learning magic spells and discovers more about his past and parents. After recovering the remembrall of Gryffindor student Neville Longbottom, Harry is recruited for Gryffindor's Quidditch team as a seeker, an extremely rare feat for first-year students. While exploring the school one night, Harry, Ron, and Hermione discover a giant 3-headed dog named Fluffy in a restricted area of the school. Ron then insults Hermione after being embarrassed by her in the charms lesson, causing Hermione to lock herself in the girls' bathroom. She is attacked by a marauding troll, but Harry and Ron save her, befriending her in the process. The children later find out Fluffy is guarding the Philosopher's Stone, an object that has the power to turn any metal into gold and produce a potion that grants immortality. Harry suspects that potions teacher and head of Slytherin House Severus Snape is trying to obtain the stone in order to return Voldemort to physical form. How? Hagrid accidentally reveals to the trio that Fluffy will fall asleep if played music. Harry, Ron, and Hermione decide that night to try to find the stone before Snape. They discover an already asleep Fluffy and face a series of safeguards, including a deadly plant known as Devil's Snare, a room filled with aggressive flying keys that bruise Harry, and a dangerous life-size game of chess that almost kills Ron. Ugh. After getting past the tasks, Harry discovers that it was defense against the dark arts teacher, Quirinius Quirrell, who was trying to claim the stone. Snape had actually been protecting Harry all along. Quirrell removes his turban and reveals the weak Voldemort living on the back of his head. Ugh. Through an enchantment placed by Dumbledore, Harry finds the stone in his possession. Voldemort attempts to bargain the stone from Harry in exchange for reviving his parents, but Harry refuses. Good on you, kid. Quirrell attempts to kill Harry in response. However, he is instead killed after Harry ends up burning his skin, reducing Quirrell to dust and causing Voldemort to rise from his ashes. Harry is knocked unconscious in the process. Harry recovers in the school hospital with Dumbledore at his side. Dumbledore explains that the stone has been destroyed and that Ron and Hermione are safe. Yay! Dumbledore also reveals how Harry was able to defeat Quirrell. When Harry's mother died to save him, her death gave Harry a love-based protection against Voldemort. Harry, Ron, and Hermione are rewarded with house points for their heroic performances, tying them for first place with Slytherin. Dumbledore then awards 10 points to Neville for attempting to stop the trio, granting Gryffindor the House Cup. Harry returns home for the summer, happy to finally have a real home in Hogwarts. Oh, that's nice. But anyway, let's look at the production of this movie, beginning with development. In 1997, producer David Heyman searched for a children's book that could be adapted into a well-received film. He planned to produce Diana Wynne Jones's novel The Ogre Downstairs, but his plans fell through. His staff at Heyday Films then suggested Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which his assistant believed was, quote, a cool idea. Heyman pitched the idea to Warner Brothers, and in 1999, Rowling sold the company the rights to the first 4 Harry Potter books for reported £1 million, or $1,982,900 US. A demand Rowling made was that the principal cast be kept strictly British, nonetheless allowing for the inclusion of Irish actors such as Richard Harris as Dumbledore, ever casting French and European actors in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, where characters from the book are specified as such. Rowling was hesitant to sell the rights because she, quote, didn't want to give them control over the rest of the story by selling the rights to the characters, which would enable Warner Brothers to make non-author written sequels. Although Steven Spielberg initially negotiated to direct the film, he declined the offer. Spielberg reportedly wanted the adaptation to be an animated film, with American actor Haley Joel Osment to provide Harry Potter's voice, or a film that incorporated elements from subsequent books as well. Spielberg contended that, in his opinion, it was like, quote, shooting ducks in a barrel. It's just a slam dunk. It's just like withdrawing $1 billion and putting it into your personal bank account. There's no challenge. Rowling maintains that she had no role in choosing directors for the films, and that, quote, anyone who thinks I could or would have vetoed him needs their quick quotes quill serviced. Heyman recalled that Spielberg wanted to direct AI artificial intelligence instead, which he ended up doing. After Spielberg left, talks began with other directors, including Chris Columbus, Terry Gilliam, Jonathan Demme, Mike Newell, Alan Parker, Wolfgang Peterson, Rob Reiner, Ivan Reitman, Tim Robbins, Brad Silberling, M. Night Shyamalan, and Peter Weir. Peterson and Reiner both pulled out of the running in March 2000, and the choices narrowed down to Silberling, Columbus, Parker, and Gilliam. Rowling's first choice director was Terry Gilliam, but Warner Brothers chose Columbus, citing his work on other family films such as Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire as influences for their decision. Columbus pitched his vision of the film for 2 hours, saying that he wanted the Muggle scenes, quote, to be bleak and dreary, but those set in the wizarding world, quote, to be seen in color, mood, and detail. He took inspiration from David Lean's adaptations of Great Expectations and Oliver Twist, wishing to use, quote, that sort of darkness, that sort of edge, that quality to the cinematography, while being further inspired by the color designs from Oliver and The Godfather. Okay then. Steve Kloves was selected to write the screenplay. He described adapted the book as, quote, tough, as it did not, quote, lend itself to adaptation as well as the next 2 books. Kloves often received synopses of books proposed as film adaptations from Warner Brothers, which he, quote, almost never read, but Harry Potter jumped out at him. He went out and bought the book and became an instant fan of the series. When speaking to Warner Brothers, he stated that the film had to be British and had to be true to the characters. Kloves was nervous when he first met Rowling, as he did not want her to think he was going to, quote, destroy her baby. Rowling admitted that she, quote, was really ready to hate the Steve Kloves, but recalled her initial meeting with him, quote, the first time I met him, he said to me, you know who my favorite character is? And I thought, you're going to say Ron, I knew you were going to say Ron, but he said Hermione, and I just kind of melted. Rowling received a large amount of creative control, an arrangement that Columbus did not mind. Warner Brothers had initially planned to release the film over July 4th, 2001 weekend, making for such a short production window that several proposed directors pulled themselves out of the running. Due to time constraints, the date was pulled back to November 16th, 2001. Now on to filming. 2 British film industry officials requested that the film be shot in the United Kingdom, offering their assistance in securing filming locations, use of Leavesden Film Studios, as well as changing the UK's child labour laws, adding a small number of working hours per week and making the timing of on-site classes more flexible. Warner Brothers accepted their proposal. Filming began on the 29th of September 2000 at Leavesden Film Studios and concluded on March 23, 2001, with final work being done in July. Principal photography took place on October 2, 2000 at North Yorkshire's Gauntlet Railway Station. Canterbury Cathedral and Scotland's Inverleith Castle were both touted as possible locations for Hogwarts. Canterbury rejected Warner Brothers' proposal due to concerns about the film's, quote, pagan theme. Alnwick Castle and Gloucester Cathedral were eventually selected as principal locations for Hogwarts, with some scenes also being filmed at Harrow School. Other Hogwarts scenes were filmed in Durham Castle over a 2-week period. These included shots of the corridors and some classroom scenes. Oxford University's Divinity School served as the Hogwarts Hospital wing. A Duke Humphreys Library, part of Bodo Lane, was used as the Hogwarts Library. Nice. Filming for Privet Drive took place at Picket Post Close in Bracknell, Berkshire. Filming in the street took 2 days instead of the planned single day, so payments to the street's residents were correspondingly increased. For all the subsequent film scenes set in Privet Drive, filming took place on a constructed set in Leavesden Film Studios, which proved to have been cheaper than filming on location. London's Australia House was selected as the location for Gringotts Wizarding Bank, while Christchurch, Oxford was the location for the Hogwarts Trophy Room. London Zoo was used as the location for the scene in which Harry accidentally sets the snake on Dudley, with King's Cross Station also being used as the book specifies. Because the American title was different, all scenes that mentioned the Philosopher's Stone by name had to be reshot, once with the actors saying philosophers and one with sorcerers. The children filmed for 4 hours and then did 3 hours of schoolwork. They developed a liking for fake facial injuries from the makeup staff. Radcliffe was initially meant to wear green contact lenses as his eyes are blue and not green like Harry's. The lenses gave Radcliffe extreme irritation. Upon consulting with Rowling, it was agreed that Harry could have blue eyes. Okay then. Now on to design and special effects. Juliana Makovsky designed the costumes. She redesigned the Quidditch robes, having initially planned to use those shown on the cover of the American book, but deemed them, quote, a mess. Instead, she dressed the Quidditch players in, quote, preppy sweaters, 19th century fencing breeches, and arm guards. Production designer Stuart Craig built the sets at Leavesden Studios, including Hogwarts Great Hall, basing it on many English cathedrals. Although originally asked to use an existing old street to film the Diagon Alley scenes, Craig decided to build his own set, comprising Tudor, Gregorian, and Queen Anne architecture. Nice! Columbus originally planned to use both animatronics and CGI animation to create the magical creatures, including Fluffy. Nick Dudman, who worked on Star Wars Episode I The Phantom Menace, was given the task of creating the needed prosthetics, with Jim Henson's Creature Shop providing creature effects. John Combinger stated that the magical creatures that needed to be created had to be designed multiple times. The film features nearly 600 special effects shots, involving numerous companies. Industrial Light and Magic created Lord Voldemort's face on the back of Quirrell, Rhythm and Hughes animated Norbert, Hagrid's baby dragon, and Sony Pictures Imageworks produced the Quidditch scenes. Interesting. Now, music. John Williams was selected to compose the score. Williams composed the score at his homes in Los Angeles and Tanglewood before recording it in London in September 2001. One of the main themes is entitled Hedwig's Theme. Williams retained it for his finished score as, quote, everyone seemed to like it, and therefore it was a recurring theme throughout the series. Yep. And now finally, differences from the book. Columbus repeatedly checked with Rowling to make sure he was getting minor details correct. Close described the film as, quote, as being, quote, really faithful to the book. He had a dialogue of which Rowling approved. One of the lines originally included had to be removed after Rowling told him that it would directly contradict an event in the then unreleased fifth Harry Potter novel, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Several minor characters have been removed from the film version, most prominent among them the spectral history magic teacher Professor Binns, and Peeves the poltergeist. The book's first chapter is from the viewpoint of Vernon and Petunia Dursley, the day before they are given Harry to look after, highlighting how non-magical people react to magic. The film removes this, beginning with Professor Dumbledore, Professor McGonagall, and Hagrid leaving Harry with the Dursleys, although McGonagall tells Dumbledore how she had been watching the Dursleys all day. Harry's less than pleasant times that Mrs. Figgs are cut from the film, while the boa constrictor from Brazil in the zoo becomes a Burmese python in the film. Some conflicts, such as Harry and Draco's encounter with each other in Madame Malkin's robe shop and Midnight Duel, are not in the film. Some of Nicholas Flamel's roles changed or cut altogether. Norbit's mention have been taken away by Dumbledore in the film, whilst the book sees Harry and Hermione have to take him by hand to Charlie Weasley's friends. Rowling described the scene as, quote, the one part of the book that she felt could be easily changed. As a result, the reason for the detention in the Forbidden Forest was changed. In the novel, Harry and Hermione are put in detention for being caught by Filch while leaving the astronomy tower after hours. Neville and Malfoy are given detention when caught in the corridor by Professor McGonagall. In the film, Harry, Hermione, and Ron receive detention after Malfoy catches them in Hagrid's hut after hours. Malfoy, however, is given detention for being out of bed after hours. Franz the Centaur, who was described in the book as being Palomino with light blonde hair, is shown to be dark in the film. The Quidditch pitch is altered from a traditional stadium to an open field circled by spectator towers. The trio's final quest for the Philosopher's Stone, Hermione's test, solving a logic problem about a row of bottles, is omitted. So overall, as the first film in the series, it's actually quite good, and yeah, I do kind of agree that it could have been a little bit more faithful to the book, but it was faithful in a lot of areas, so there's that. So overall, I give Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the film, 5 wands out of 5. We'll join me tomorrow as we take a look at the film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So, until then, bye everybody.